I'm just going to give this warning before this video starts. If your friends or family call you up and ask you to go camping in Cinder Woods, just say no. Hey guys, welcome to Happywax TV. So I had one of my subscribers, goes by the name of Jammy Fish. He asked me to review this movie, and I was like, sure, dude, I'll do it. I did a trailer review for it months ago, and I thought the trailer looked fantastic, so I had no problem wanting to watch this movie. It's called The Axiom, and it's written and directed by Nicholas Wood. And then it's got a very small cast in it. Haiti Smith, Zach Titus, Nicole Dambro, Michael Peter Harrison, Taylor Flowers, and then William Kircher is probably the most recognizable face in this movie. He plays Leon. He's kind of like the park ranger-y sort of guy. And he was in the Hobbit trilogy, so I'm sure you'll recognize his face right off the hop. I know I did. But basically, synopsis, Mackenzie, who is played by Haiti Smith, her sister goes missing. She's kind of an adventurous, they say in the opening act there on the way to this forest. She's, I don't know, she just takes off and goes on these adventures, but she always stays in contact with somebody from her family. But this time when she went into this forest, she hasn't contacted anybody since she's gone there. So Mackenzie is all worried that she's, gone missing and no one knows where she is. So anyways, She goes to this forest, gathers up her brother, his fiance, and a bunch of their friends, and then they go to this cinder forest, and they're going to camp out and try and find her, make sure she's okay. But before they go into the forest, because it's now closed, because it's a national park, they have to talk to Leon, the park ranger guy, and he says he's actually seen her sister, and knows where she is and stuff. So she's to come talk to him before they actually go into the forest. Just so he can kind of give it a lowdown. So she gets there and she's expecting, I guess, to hear, where she is and just a straight path to her and all this sort of jazz. But he starts going off about, you got to take these heart monitors, and he shows her this black map, which is like totally different than the one she brought of this forest, saying that you're going to hear voices and there's people go missing in there all the time and it's very dangerous and blah, blah, blah. And he gives her these vials that they're supposed to drink. We don't know what it's made of, but it kind of keeps the voices from like he said, you're going to hear voices when you're in there, like in your head and stuff. And they're just to kind of keep those at bay. But anyways, this whole confrontation is, something's fucking going afoul. And this is where the movie kind of, I could sit here and rip this movie apart, but you have to do two things. You have to be a little bit accepting. And then you also have to realize that this is a very low budget movie. It's shot great. I don't know the exact budget they had, but for whatever money they did have, they used it for the most part, pretty well. And the acting is spot on. There's a couple characters, like the two main characters, like Mackenzie and Martin, the brother and sister. They're kind of one-dimensional, but it's not their fault. I think it's just the way that they're scripted. But I don't know. They're in the movie the most, and they're in at the very end. But I don't know. I got this, I didn't really care for them. I just didn't have a sense of feeling for them. It was the other characters, the other three, that really, really kind of brought this movie, into what it is as far as the acting goes. But they die off early. You know what I mean? Not too early, but early enough anyways. And it's a shame, really, because really for me, it was those three characters, the other brother and sister, and then the friend that I really cared about, you know what I mean? But anyways, I don't want to give too many spoilers here, but telling you that people have died in this forest is not a spoiler. Anytime you get a group of friends going in a mysterious forest, put two and two together. Everybody's going to fucking die. We all know this. So anyways, so after this confrontation at the Rangers building here, they go into the forest, and right away stuff starts happening. But again, the way it's filmed, you can tell it's a small budget, and everything's practical. Everything's practical, and there are creatures in this film. It says in the synopsis, and it's right in the trailer. And some of these creatures look fucking awesome. And it's all practical. There's only, as far as I could see, there was only one shot of CGI, and I'm going to get to that in a few minutes. But the good things about this movie is if you love practical kind of creaturey monsters, there's not a ton of craziness in this movie as far as like monsters and stuff. But when we do see them, I mean, I think they look pretty cool. Again, you have to go in with the mindset that this is a low budget movie, not some grand fucking theatrical performance like Star Wars or something crazy like that. But it's a really small budgeted movie. But I mean, again, the acting is fucking spot on. And the way Nicholas Woods films this, like, you can tell he had a grand vision of this movie. The one thing that I thought he could have done was maybe have some drone shots of the over top of the forest. I don't think there were any in there. It would have showed the vast kind of, how big this place was, which would have made it really cool. But anyways, when they get into this forest, weird shit starts to happen. And what the Axiom is it's doorways into other dimensions where these creatures live. Now they do give a background later on in the movie of what the Axiom is. It's like scientists came in the 50s, the army and scientists, and they did something. And I guess apparently they've opened up these doorways. Now Leon, who's the ranger, says in the movie that they found 6 doorways. But I don't want to give spoilers, so I'm not going to tell you what they use the doorways for or all that. But the kids go into the forest, and right away, who's the first guy? Garrick. He's the English fella in this movie. It's funny too because he's not very far from the group. He just kind of walks past like 20 feet from the group, and then you can tell he goes through this doorway, and he turns around, and his friends are standing right there, but he can't see them because he's beyond this portal. You know what I mean? Which is pretty cool. Like, the idea of it is awesome, and you can tell when these people walk into the Axiom because they have these. I think it's cherry blossom flowers, like. They start to fall and stuff. So that means that they've gone in through the portal and into these other dimensions where these creatures are. The one thing I didn't like, well, actually there's a few things I didn't like, but the one thing I kind of bothered me is when they were, I wish they would have, and I understand why they couldn't because, they're trying to find Mackenzie's sister, but I wish they would have, just given some background on why these creatures are doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like there's no, like they just kill you. I don't understand. Again, I don't want to give, spoilers, but it's just obviously 5 people go into a fucking forest, they're all going to die. So, but it never explains why they kill these people or what they're, doing for, other than they're just pissed off spirits that, want to kill these people when they come into their dimension. I don't know, but I wish there was a little more background on the creatures. So, but again, they found 6 doorways. This Leon guy has, and I guess every doorway or every portal has a different type of creature in it. So it's hard not to give spoilers for this movie, but I will say a couple things that I didn't like about this movie. First, all the creatures are practical except one. Okay, and like I don't know. I mean, again, I don't want to give spoilers, but. I mean, the lead up to this creature, I mean, you can hear it coming from the distance, and it almost sounds like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. I mean, it was awesome, the build up to that, but the payoff to this creature was laughable. I mean, I don't know why they would have had all this awesome makeup and these cool other creatures like the spirits, and then these, they're called doggers, I think they're called doggers. But they're the bald guys, the bald creatures with the long fingers. I mean, those are cool looking and stuff. But this payoff at the end with this massive monstery creature, and that's not the ending of the movie, but it's so CGI'd. It looks fucking horrible, and I don't know why they would have put that in there. I would have rather not seen the creature than to have the buildup of it walking closer to Mackenzie. You know what I mean? With these massive footsteps, and then the payoff, it was I don't know, man. I was like, what the fuck is that thing? It just, I don't know. And then there's another creature in here too, like, and it brought me back to, reminded me of Conan the Destroyer, how that movie is where he fights that lizard creature in the glass with all the mirrors around it. And it's like, why do they take these creatures and give them the sound effects of a fucking tiger, of a roaring tiger? Like, you can't, kind of alter the voice a little bit or the growl or something so it's not quite as tigerish. Like, it was so, so it was cheesy. I'm not even pulling any punches. I mean, the sound this creature made sounded just like a fucking tiger, and I was like, well, why? You can't alter the fucking, the reverb or anything. It's just like, I don't know. It was some parts of this movie were lazy, but I don't know. I guess overall, okay, so again, I don't want to spoil this movie, so I'm not saying don't see it. I mean, it is worth a watch. Just, you have to go into it realizing it's a low budget movie. The acting is great though. I mean, I really cared for the acting, but as far as the special effects at the end, they should have just done away with that. And but the practical monsters look fucking killer. So I don't know why we didn't have more of those in this movie, and the idea was really cool too. I really did like the idea of all these dimensional doorways in this forest. I thought that was a great idea. And it's funny, like you get these movies that are trying to be so grand, and for the most part it works. But again, what I was getting at earlier when Nicholas Woods, this is his first feature-length film, and everything else he's done directed has been short films. And I really honestly think when I was watching this film, this movie would have been an amazing short film. Like if it was like 20 minutes, maybe even a half an hour long, and then put it into the festivals then. I've said this about a number of movies, smaller budgeted movies, is why do you have to make these movies actually this one was 98 minutes, so it was over an hour and a half. And it just, there were parts of this movie that it just dragged. It was just like a lot of filler, a lot of walking around, a lot of kind of nonsense kind of dialogue. And they could have cut all that stuff out, saved the comical fucking disappointment of the CGI creature at the end, and just made it into a short film, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and shopped it around at the festivals, and then waited for a studio to come along that could give this movie like a bigger budget. And I mean, really, this movie has a great fucking idea, but just its lack of budget, and it really does detract from the overall enjoyment of this film. It's too bad. And I said that about a few movies too, where just make it a short film, shop it around, hope it gets picked up by a bigger studio, and then they're going to give you a shit ton of cash to make it, and then your effects will look good. You can do even more makeup and make the creatures look even that much more awesome, but use the same actors and actresses, because these guys, this cast was fucking killer. And honestly, the director too, Nicholas Woods, this vision, and for what he was lacked in money, he made up for in some pretty cool camera shots. And there was gore in this movie too. Like he used the money wisely. It was just a lack of money. I think that if anyone's going to say anything bad about this movie, it's just going to be the lack of budget. So, but it really was a good idea with these portals in the woods and stuff. So who knows? Maybe it will get picked up. How many other movies have we seen, especially, movies from Asia and stuff where they get an American remake. So who knows? Maybe somebody will watch this film and think, what a great fucking idea, buy the rights off them, and then make it into like a big budget movie. So, or give it a bigger budget. Who knows? So anyways, I'm not gonna rip this movie apart like I read some reviews, but these people have gone into this movie saying, thinking it's going to be some big budget grand fucking horror movie, and it's not. It's a low budget movie made with a ambition and a great idea, and they've got a good cast here. It's just lacking in budget. So anyways, it's called The Axiom. I would give it probably like a 6. If I had to give it a rating out of 10, I'd probably give it a 6. It's definitely watchable. But again, there's parts in this movie that just drag. So it's just, as long as you can prepare yourself for that, and the fact that it doesn't have a monster budget, you're good to go. So anyways, it's on all platforms. It's on Vudu, iTunes, Google Play, anywhere. It's not on Netflix, but it's anywhere, any pay source where you view your movies, it's on there. So it's easy to find. So definitely give it a watch. And actually, these guys have a Facebook page too. I'll leave a link in the description. you can hop over there and say hi to them after you watch the movie and let them know that you like their flick, because it really is a good movie. It's just, like I've said 100 times, needs a little bit more money just to kind of push it over the edge into that awesome marker. So anyways, guys, yeah, the Axiom. It was requested for me to review, and if you guys have any movies that you want me to talk about, I mean, just drop me a line on Happywax TV on Facebook. I'll leave links in the description box, and just shoot me some movies. Or you can leave a comment in here too. Just, have you seen this flick? And I'll, if I haven't, I'll do my best to get to it and drop your name too when I do the review for it. So, anyways, the Axiom came out last year. I think it's pretty good. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think of this one if you have seen it. And as always, stay scared.